Hi, it's Dr. Lori, and I'm back with more rants and raves. This is when I get things off my chest. I tell you about the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. You know what this is. Anyway, so a couple of the things that have come in, whether it's a comment or a phone message or whatever, at my office when I'm not doing videos live, when I'm not, being interviewed, when I'm not on TV, when I'm not, I don't know, when I'm not doing video calls. So here we go. So, people regularly contact the office and they want repeatedly free appraisals. I understand free appraisals. I get it. You want to do free appraisals. I give a lot of free appraisals. I'm happy to do that. However, all different ways that they want me to do free appraisals. When are you coming to my town? Can you do this? How do I sell this? What do I do? What do I do? Look, if you would spend all the energy that you are wasting on all of this, oh, please, 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 pleading about free appraisals, and just watch the videos. Let me show you how to resell the pieces. You would basically use all that energy for your own success, for your own gain. You'd do fine. You'd be fine. You really got to stop all of this, oh, I just need this, I just need that, and just watch the videos. Learn what I'm teaching you and do it yourself. You can do it. I'm here to help you, yes, but that's what you really need to do. It's not difficult. A little tough love here is not going to hurt anybody, okay? All right, let's see. What else happens? A lot of comments here. This amazes me. I get a lot of comments that I should do instructional videos that would, for the people who are going to be on Ask Dr. Lori Live, right? So they can understand how to hold their camera horizontally, right? Or so they know that they should have a plain background, or they know that they should, in fact, have the lights on or have a good internet connection for Ask Dr. Lori Live. I'm doing all kinds of free information. The website is free, and of course and I'm also doing, of course, all these videos, and I'm happy to do them. I'm happy to do them. However, you guys got to do a little bit of something. You've got to do a little bit of work. You've got to know how to use your device, whatever device you have. You have to know how to hold it horizontally or get into your settings and turn off the auto lock, right? You're going to have to do a little bit of talking to your friends or your family about how these devices work so you can get the most out of them, so you can participate and Ask Dr. Lori Live. But doing instructional, now you want me to do instructional videos on top of everything else? I mean, I understand the question. I think that the question is you're just trying to help everybody. I get that. But basically, I'm happy to do a lot of different things, but I really think you guys have to do a little bit and put a little bit of work in too. And I think you'd benefit from that because you'll learn a little bit more about how to utilize all of this technology that will help you long term. Plus, I want to spend my time teaching you what to look for, showing you how to tell. So you basically can, again, benefit from all these videos and from my almost 25 years of experience and my extensive education. Then we got this. This is a phone message left at the office. Hi, Dr. Lori. I don't really want to pay anything. So when you have time, just give me a call. I'll tell you about the objects I have and you can appraise them for me over the telephone. Well, isn't this nice? This is nice. So you don't want to pay anything. You just want to sort of cut to the front of the line. Do you hate those kids in school who cut to the front of the line? I couldn't stand those kids. There's no reason you have to be at the front of the line and everybody else has to wait in line. Hey, if you want to get my information, I give a lot of it away for free. Again, videos, the website. The website is a tremendous resource that many of you are not using at drloriv.com. Go to the website. Okay, or watch the videos on YouTube or other places, the binge link, sure. But in terms of this, when I look at this, it's like, just give me a call like when I have extra time. Do you think I have extra time to do that? Happy to help, but you've got to think about that. Then I get this. Are you familiar with the artist so-and-so? Right? Enter a name, right? James, let's be good. I don't know. Come up with a name. James Jones. Are you familiar with that artist, Dr. Lori? Hey, I'm familiar with a lot of artists. A lot of artists, whether they are first-tier artists, second-tier artists, artists who just got out of art school. I know a lot of artists throughout the whole history of art. There's lots of them. The doctorate in art history will do that for you. It'll teach you about a lot of different artists. It's not only about the artist. And even if I was able to say, oh, of course, I know that exactly that artist that you're talking about, right? Which a lot of the times I do. I have to also know, in order to give it an appraised value, do you have a painting? Do you have an etching? Do you have a sculpture? Do you have an architectural element? Do you have a print? Do you have... I don't know what you have. Do you have a piece of mixed media? Do you have a clock? What do you have by this artist? It's not only about the signature. I probably said this 1,000 times, maybe 10,000 times really over my career. It's not only about the signature. It's not only about the artist. A lot of you will say that when I'm in a video. How did she appraise that without talking about the artist? Hey, the artist's work is what stands alone, okay? So the artist is important, sure, but it's not only about that. You're missing a lot of other factors that relate to an appraised value. So again, people who are going, are you familiar with this artist? You've got to stop this. It's not only about a signature. You're putting far too much weight on a signature, okay? So I want you to be aware of that. It's not only about a signature. It's about condition. It's about composition. It's about a lot of the things that I've taught you on these videos. All right. Then there's this one. This is probably this week's favorite for me. When people say that the values that I give are too high, there are people out there who are saying values you're giving are way too high. People aren't getting that. It's only what people are willing to pay. Guess what? The values that I am giving are based on what people are not only willing to pay, but what they've paid. And there's proof, because many of you are the resellers who have actually sold these pieces for the estimated appraised values that I've given, and it's what people have paid. In some cases even, people have paid a little more than the appraised value, okay, if they really want the piece. This is not something where people go, now people are calling me all kinds of names. This one guy is calling me, I'm a quack, they're throwing me out of groups, I'm a search word that they want to delete me from these, calling me all kinds of things. You've ruined your reputation. I can't believe that you're expecting people to pay all this money for these pieces. People are paying this much money. How do I know? Appraised retail values based on actual sales records where similar pieces have sold. This little phrase about it's what people are willing to pay, this is what people are willing to pay because it sold for this much. Someone swiped that credit card, someone paid that bill, someone used Apple Pay for that particular object, somebody paid cash for the numbers that I'm giving you. They're not coming out of the woodwork. And then I say to these people who are supposed to be seasoned dealers or resellers who know what they're doing, why wouldn't you go, gosh, Dr. Lori is finding this. She's an established authority. That's the value of it. And I'm going to wait the way a lot of you who are considered amateur retailers are waiting, right? Resellers are waiting, and they're getting the values. They're getting the sales. It's happening. The proof is in the pudding. We've got lists and lists of people who are basically coming back saying, I'm watching your videos, I'm getting your appraisals, I'm doing it, I'm succeeding, I've sold the piece that you appraised. I think these guys don't know what they're doing. Call me a quack if you want, but there are a lot of people who are making a lot of money basically watching and following the tips. So there you go. That's my rant on those people. Hi, Dr. Lori. I'm looking for an honest appraiser who also will basically be able to connect a buyer for my particular furniture and some other items. So this person wants the appraiser to be honest, and that an honest appraiser is going to also make a connection between this person, the client, and potential buyers. All right, let's talk a little bit about this. And I've talked about this for probably almost 25 years. The person who appraises your objects, in my opinion, should not be involved in the sale of your objects. Why? It's an ethical issue, okay? The ethical issue is if somebody wants to, in fact, appraise the objects, and they also want to buy the objects, they probably don't want to pay it for the top dollar appraised value. They don't want to tell you that it sells at $500 and then say, here, I can't wait to give you $500. Usually what they want to do is they want to tell you it's not worth that much, get it at a low value so they can flip it themselves. So if they're playing appraiser as well as, of course, buyer, you're probably not getting an appraiser who's going to work well for you. I always say, if the appraiser who comes into your home also wants to buy your objects, ask them to appraise the door on the way out. So, my opinion, but that's an opinion based on a lot of experience and a lot of education. Having said that, remember, these kinds of folks, if you're looking for somebody who's going to be like a one-stop sale, one-stop selling, I oftentimes say, you're probably, as the person who's trying to sell your objects, you're probably going to end up in the bad end of that, getting the bad end of that deal or the raw end of that stick. And then there's this comment, which, I appreciate these comments. I want to give you videos that you want, right? I mean, this is why we're all working so hard here to give you videos that you want, the content that you want, the way that you want. But someone writes and says, I'd like to give you some feedback. Basically, I think it would be helpful if you did, certain things with respect to the videos, because I'm listening in the background and I kind of glance up and watch the videos. And, most of the time, what I want to see is not there by the time I glance up. Now, please. I'm happy to do this. I'm happy to do the videos. I want you all to learn. That is my motivation. However, you need to pay attention. I mean, if I'm doing these videos for people who are paying attention to the videos, you're glancing up. I understand doing things in the background. I'm a total multitasker. I do a million things at once. I like doing a million things at once. I don't always think that you do things well when you're doing a million things at once, but, I have to say that for the most part, I understand you're watching, and you're kind of doing other things, and I'm in the background, but you've got to pay attention. I can't be editing and having them edit and making videos specifically to exactly the way you tend to watch. So hopefully you can pay attention and you'll get a little bit more out of it, as opposed to, I should have to change the way the video is done, or the editors have to edit directly only to you. You've got to understand that. All right, and then there's this. I get this a lot. I've called, when are you coming to my town? When are you coming to my town? I want you to come to my town and you don't come here. Well, I have been everywhere. I go everywhere. I do not basically say, I discriminate against one town to another town. I go where I'm invited. I don't crash weddings either. I go where I'm invited. I'm invited to certain events, big events. I'm invited to towns for certain reasons, for certain private events or public events. If you want me to come to your town and do an appraisal show, hey, get me invited. I need an invitation. So I'd love to go and see you and come. So again, it's not that I just decide where I'm going. Of course, people book me to come to particular areas. So thanks for that. All right, what other things happen? Let's see. I have all kinds of stubs, receipts, bills from the last 50 years. And hundreds of boxes and other items that look to be basically somewhat unrelated. Can you recommend someone that would be interested? Now, when I see the word interested, or I hear the word interested usually means, are you the person who wants to buy my stuff? Or do you know a person who wants to buy my stuff? Okay, that's a very fair question. You want to sell this stuff and you have stuff that you're thinking is, I don't know if it's related or not related. You don't really want to be too specific and you don't really want to go through it all, right? You don't want to sift through all these boxes of something, right? But you want to know if somebody has an interest in it. Okay, now first of all, we have to know what you've got, because no one's going to be interested in something that isn't well described or identified. So I have to know what you have. You got to give a little bit more information than that. Then you also have to think about the fact that when you're looking at these particular pieces, these people may or may not have any interest in it, right? So don't be upset when they say, no, I don't really want your box full of old papers, right? So you want to find somebody who wants to take all of your stuff at once. There are people who come in and buy estates. They usually buy them pretty low, at a low cost, right, to them, and then they resell them piecemeal. If you don't want to do the piecemeal, then, that's a whole nother thing. But again, asking for are you interested when you don't even explain what you've got is problematic. All right. Let's see. Here's another thing that I just don't understand where you guys get this stuff from, but here's an example. I've seen videos where someone said if you place a gem into a clear oil and the color comes through, then that means that the gem is real. Is this true? Okay. First of all, I don't know what a clear oil is, so you're going to have to be a little more specific with that. Secondly, you also have to think about what does it mean if something's real, right? Is it an authentic, naturally developed gem? Is that your question? Is your question, is it a synthetic piece gem that was built, that was actually evolved or developed in a lab of some sort? So this word real, where you all go, is it real? Is it real? Is it real? If it's tangible and in your hands, it's real. Whether or not it is authentic, naturally developed, or so on and so forth is a totally different question. So again, and all of these crazy, I talk about these kind of crazy tests, these crazy tests are crazy for a reason. So be aware of that. And when it comes to gemstones and such, there are many, many good ways and good tools that you can use to identify and evaluate gemstones. Thank you for letting me get some stuff off my chest. We've had a lot of positive stuff happen here too, of course. You guys are responsible for a lot of that. I'm very happy to help you with information and, of course, videos. Thanks for letting me rant and rave a little bit. I'm Dr. Lori. I'll see you next time.